Hi everybody, Lydia here with Build Show, and today we're going to talk about skimming blades. So they have gotten very popular for good reason. They're easy to use, they create a fantastic finish, but there are some tips and tricks that are helpful when you use them, especially the angle at which you want to be pulling your blade. So we're going to kind of go over that today just a little bit back here on this wall. But I did want to show too, there are a variety of sizes. You can kind of gauge how tall I am here. This is a 40-inch, I believe. So this is a huge blade. These ones I really don't use very often. As you can tell, it really hasn't been used much. It's just huge. You know, it's kind of hard to wield something this large and have it be completely even across the entire surface. But if you are doing big skimming jobs or needing to pull like a lot of ceiling, something like that, these big guys are a good option. You do need to use two hands with this. So if I was using this, and this is part of it too, I would do here and I would do here, and I would kind of like put my fingers out and use even pressure as I'm pulling the blade down. If I'm centered here, it's gonna be kind of like weird and flimsy and funky. So it's important when you are using these, you want to get your arms centered as much as possible and use good pressure. And like I use my fingers and pull down. And then that way your ends aren't, you know, lifting up off the board and then making a mess. So really try and get centered, push hard and pull. These little guys here are really nice for wiping tape. You know, doing anything small, they are great for tape. What's nice too is the handle's not super thick. So if you are taping like underneath pipes and stuff, they're a good option there because you can kind of get your hand in there. But same thing, I'm running it about here, and then I do have, you know, my hand centered, and then I do use like two fingers for pressure. And then this guy is a 12, so we're actually gonna go ahead and coat one of these flats with this. This one gets used quite a bit. I'd say a 24, which I don't have on me today, is the most common and versatile size. You can do a lot with a 24, but a 12 is great too, especially corner bead, columns, coating, anything like that. These knives are great for that. And this one, you can do two or one, kind of depending on what you're doing. I think one should be just fine, but these do have a decent amount of flex to them, so you can push pretty hard, and they do leave a very nice finish. So I'm gonna go ahead, we'll just kind of coat this flat right here, and then I'll run over what I'm doing and how I'm holding it and why. So I'm gonna be using just a regular knife to put the mud on with. You can apply the mud with these if you want. It's just kind of messy. And you don't have quite the control like you do with a regular knife. So typically what you're gonna wanna do, prep my spot first. I'll go ahead, I'm gonna put my mud on. And then I'm gonna just go ahead and kind of feather my edges a little bit here. Especially since we're coating a flat, I don't wanna be way outside of it. And then I'm gonna take my skimming blade, and then I'm gonna go ahead and apply pressure and run down. So depending on your angle is gonna depend on what your finish is like. If I'm like this, that's not good. Like that we just made a new texture. We'll call it the Tomahawk Special. I don't know. Anyway, don't have it like that. And then if you're too sharp like this, I just pulled everything off. So there is a trick to kind of getting the right angle with it. Okay. Oh yeah, and be careful when you use these are very sharp. You can also cut edges with this, totally works. The only thing that can happen is you don't wanna like have your blade all bent and funky after a lot of use. These blades are replaceable. So when I'm using this, I'm gonna come here, I'm gonna come, you know, at a decent angle, not too sharp. I'm not gonna be like this, I'm not gonna be totally flat to the wall. So I don't know angles very well. I don't know, maybe 45, something like that, if you guys can tell on camera. And then I'm gonna use two fingers, and I'm gonna push with even pressure down the wall. I'm gonna cut this edge a little bit right here. And I'm gonna do one more pull. So as you can tell, it's a pretty like it's very, very smooth. These are great for going over existing textures. You can trace after your boxes with them if you so choose. They're great for finishing corner beads. You can put all your mud on and then just run it straight down the entire column. You can do flats, you can wipe tape. Honestly, there's so much. I think that's why they've gotten so popular, is it really is endless the things that you can do with these knives. We've also used them to knock down texture. So if we're doing a skip, you can come after with this, or an orange peel. Might not work, I'm not totally sure on the orange peel. We usually use magic trowels for that, but it might work. But most of these too have ways that you can put handles on them for attaching to the ceiling. So if you're trailing boxes, if you just, are doing a lot of overhead skim work, those are an option too, instead of getting up on the ceiling and being like that. But a couple key things to remember from this: not too sharp, not too flat. We want to be about 45 or so, and you want to use even pressure and pull smooth and kind of hard. You can go a little bit thinner with the mud too. Mine was maybe, it looks actually really, really good. I think that's, you can go a little bit thinner if you want. But definitely, if you are doing a lot of remodel work, a lot of texture removal, a lot of skimming over textures, or if you're a homeowner and you're trying to tackle something yourself, I cannot recommend skimming blades enough. There's a lot of varieties out there, there's a lot of companies, and they're all a little bit different, but they all kind of have the same blade. It's all stainless. Most of them are replaceable. This one's replaceable, and all the other companies also make replaceable blades for these. But definitely, if you are doing something and you're not feeling so comfortable with your handwork, definitely pick a skimming blade up today. Anyway, that's it for me. I hope you guys have a great week. We are really sweaty in here today. It is like 100 degrees in here at least. And I know Greg and I are probably ready to get out of here. So anyway, follow me on all the socials, and I will catch you guys next week on The Build Show.